let's go to number 5. Number 5 reads, find the sum of the GP, which is 1 plus half plus quarter plus we have dot 1 over 256i. Okay, knowing what we know here, we know that we're finding the sum I. So we're finding the sum of all these sequences up to the last I. So now the formula in GP, finding the sum of the GP, we say that sum of the nth term is equal to, we have a first term multiplied by 1 or minus rn, r to the power n, over 1 minus r to the power n, minus ri. So this formula will be used if our ri is less than 1. We'll use this one, and another one can be used, which is n, sum of the nth term is equal to first term open bracket r to the power 1 minus r minus 1i all over r minus 1 when r is greater than 1i. So how can you remember this? Simple and straightforward. Look in the bracket. When you look in the bracket, you are going to notice one thing. One thing that I've noticed myself is that we are choosing the r, we're choosing the ri, we're saying that what is in the bracket should be positive. How are we saying that it should be positive? If r is less than 1i, meaning r is less than 1, meaning if r, we've said that r minus 1, we're going to have a negative number because r is less than 1. So in this case, we always get the number which is bigger in front I, 1 minus r. Even here, in this case, r is bigger than 1. So if r is bigger than 1, if you say 1 minus r, meaning we're going to have a negative number. So that's what to take note on here. Simple thing, right? From there, going on, we are going to have numbers like this. So numbers, first of all, what we have here, we have to find the common ratio. As you can see, r is appearing everywhere. So our r, as we said earlier, is like the second term over the first term I, which in our case, our second term is half, and then our first term over is divided by I. First term is 1. Half divided by 1, we know that anything divided by 1 is what? The same thing I. So our answer is half, meaning our r is half I. Okay, so what else do we need? We need the terms I. We need the terms. Now we know that all these are terms up to the last. Now we don't know what term is this. We need it for us to fill in our last number I. So we're going to use the nth term to find it I. Nth term, well, we know that in the GP we say that the nth term is equal to a1, which is and r n minus 1i. So we use this one I. Nth term is equal to first term times common ratio to the power n minus 1i. In this case, we don't know the n, so we just say that the term we're looking for we're looking for the term which represents this number, which is 1 over 25 or 556 is equal to our first term is 1. Our first term is 1, so we have 1 there. Common ratio is half. N minus 1. We don't know the n, so we cannot do the minus. In this case, we know that we're going to have 1 divided by 256 is equal to 1 multiplied with anything. The 1 can disappear. So in this case, we're just going to remain with the half, which is to the power n minus 1. So in this case, what can we say? 1 divided by 256 is equal to this. If you look at it properly, if you're a mathematician, you can break this one down. First to have n minus 1 as a power, meaning we had half to the power 1 dividing by another half to the power 1. In short, let me say, let me just say half I to the power 1, half to the power n and half to the power 1i. So when you're dividing, that's when you say that it's the same thing that are dividing, we just subtract their powers I. Isn't that correct? That's why we had 1 minus n minus 1 there. So in this case, if I can try to make it in my own way, I can say that we can say not in my own way, but in mathematical way, other forms. We can make this appear to be this half. This half can become reciprocate I. We can have numbers like 1 over 2 to the power half. 1 over 2 to the power half. So since it was divided by, I will say times reciprocation, it's going to be 2 over 1. Where we're going to say 2 is going to be 2 and then 1 over 2 n. That's why it's going to be I. Yeah. So let me replace that one now. We have 2 half to the power n. So now let me just remove this half by dividing it I. I'll divide the half. Since I'm dividing the half this side, it's like I'm doing this. I'm dividing the 2, not the half. I'm saying 1 over 256 divide by 2i. If it's divided by 2, we can reciprocate again I by saying 1 with earlier, it's going to reciprocate. We're going to have 256 times 1 over 2i, 1 over 2. So 2 would times this other guys down here, which in our case we're going to have 1 over this is going to be, so this is going to be let me start from this. 2 times 6 is 12, so 2 remainder 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus that 1 is 11, remainder 1. 2 times 2 is 4, so 5. So it's going to be 5 1 over 5 to 6, or 5 to over 5 12. So it still is equal to, we are having half to the power n. We still want to find that n. Okay, let me use the upper part I. Let me just rewrite 512 is equal to half ni. So in this case, this half is bracketed everything I. So if I try to remove the bracket by saying 1 over 512 is equal to 1 to the power n over 2 to the power n. 1 to the power n, anything to the power 1, anything which any 1 to the power any number I. 1 to the power any number is just 1i. So I've dealt with the upper part, remaining the down part I, the denominator. So I'm saying that 2n is equal to 512. What is so meaning we can change it by saying that 2n is equal to n 2 again to the power something. Let's find that power, and that number is definitely 8. That number is definitely 8. So when you say 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 up to the power up to 8, you're going to find yourself that your answer is going to be it's going to be 512. So yeah, okay. The rest you can try to do it on the calculator, but yeah, just know that 2 to the power 8 is equal to 512i. So in this case, the bases can divide, and we're going to have the powers n is equal to 8. N is equal to 8. So our a was 1, so we can replace the 1 there. Still, we can replace the 1 there, and then we say 1 minus half to the power 8. Still repeat itself, this thing. At least we now know what to do there. So 1 minus half down there, 1 minus half. At least we know what to be down I. So we have 1 minus, so 1 times everything that is here, 1 can disappear I. So here we're just going to have 1 minus what was supposed to have here. So here it's like 8 to the power 1 to the power 8 again. To the power 8 we had revised to say that it is 512. So in this case, all over we are saying, since 1 minus half I, since 1 has 2 halves I, so we're going to say remaining 1 half. That's what we have there. Okay, in this case we can reciprocate this half I to just make a good number. So it's now going to be, so this is going to multiply on top I, reciprocation. So it's going to be sum of the 8 term is equal to 2 open bracket. This was supposed to be here, but now let me simplify it. We have 1 minus 1 over 51 151i. 151 1 minus 1 over 51i. So we can put 1 here, make everything a fraction I. So since everything is a fraction, meaning the common one, the common denominator should be 512. 512 is a common denominator, and then 512 multiplied by that one is 512 minus 1, so which is going to be 511i over 512. So in this case we have 511 over 512, and in this case you multiply now, or if you don't multiply, if you think this can divide, you divide. Okay, let's try to divide. Dividing, we say 2 into 5, so 5 1 2 1 1 will remain on top. 5 1, if it is 2, remainder 1. Yeah, we have this as our answer. This is sum of the 8th term.